Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and whenever you are. Welcome to another episode of Community Livestream. My name is Chuck Tomasi. I am the ServiceNow guy with the red bow tie, and I am here to bring you another hour of the community, which was not on my screen behind me. Now it is. We are going to spend the next hour going through the community and answering questions and solving problems, and not only getting those answers, but understanding how we got to those answers. I will verbalize the thought process, the experimentation, the best practices, the shortcuts. If you've got questions, please throw them in the YouTube chat or the Twitch channel chat if you happen to be watching there. We are simulcasting this on both. I am going to make myself small so I can get out of the way and put those other titles up there. If you are watching this for the first time, welcome. Again, my name is Chuck Tomasi. I've got about 10 years experience on the ServiceNow platform, mostly in custom applications and integrations. The platform in general, scripting is a strong point, so I will try to help out where I can with those types of questions. And I encourage you to get involved with the community. If you've got a question or an issue, or you just you're curious if something is possible, post it to community.servicenow.com. And hopefully somebody will get to that soon. I will do my best to go through what we can find this morning. I thank you again for watching this. Again, if you want to find us on Twitch. It's over at twitch.tv/NOWCommunity. And you can watch those there. Those only save the last couple of weeks. If you've got a question, please, again, post it in the community. Put that back up there because oftentimes I get questions about, hey, can you solve my ITOM problem? Or can you look at this script in the YouTube chat, and I really don't have the ability to answer it there effectively. I can discuss topical things. Somebody asked me a week or so ago, tell me about, I forget what it was, ITOM. So I went through my spiel on what ITOM is and how it can help your organization. That was more of a discussion thing. It actually worked better in video, but somebody coming along later is not going to be able to search the videos for that exact context and find it out. So the idea is you watch this like a daily news program, and thank you very much for doing that. And you will get those additional bits of information. But if you want to get your answer answered, please post that in the community. Good morning, Mr. TV. We have people that are chiming in on the YouTube chat. Thank you very much. Also, sorry to you have saved a reference record of my username to my name and locations. Morning, Jay. Hope Chicago is having a nice spring day today. Looking forward to getting that underway. From what I hear in the Midwest, things are warming up nicely and spring is well underway. It feels like late April again, as opposed to a week ago that felt like mid-January. So what have I missed? The developer portal. Go over to developer.servicenow.com. Get yourself a free personal developer instance and play away. Experiment, learn, grow. There's learning paths. There's the scripting APIs are over there. The meetups are over there. We had a wonderful Phoenix meetup last night. It was we called it, what, grab a beer, grab a t-shirt, something like that. We had the ServiceNow developer t-shirts available, and everybody had a great time. Plus, we discussed what are the areas of interest. What do people want to cover? We had some first-timers there. We had some very experienced people there. It was a great time, and I encourage you to get involved with one of the ServiceNow developer meetups in your area. You will learn, you will network, you will grow, all that good stuff. It's almost like a specialized snug for ServiceNow developers. It's a whole lot of fun. You might be actually, it was surprising because in March we did something that was no code. So you never know what you're getting. It's completely up to the local group of what you want it to be and how you want it to run. And that's the cool part. ServiceNow is not putting any rules or there's some guidelines of what you might want to do and what works well for other teams. I also encourage you, if you are interested in that, reach out to me, and you can get a hold of me either here on the community or on the SN Devs, SN as in ServiceNow, DEVS. I should have a page to that. Good resource for that information as well. Sort of the community that's not on the community, but I'm going to stick with this one today and get right into it. We covered the developer community, developer portal. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. So as I like to start out most mornings, let's get started with the unanswered questions. Unreplied is more specific. Hope everybody was able to attend yesterday's REST API Tech Now. That was a smashing success, I will call it. On this end, anyway, it appeared to be so. Had wonderful attendance, great questions, lots of interaction, and we'll get the video posted to YouTube and cross-posted into the community as soon as I can get my dirty little hands on that. Also look forward to seeing people at Knowledge, but I'll talk about that in just a bit. It's, what, about 9 days away? Something crazy like that. It's insane, but I'm feeling pretty good about where I am. I'm not panicking. If it was really insane, I wouldn't be able to do this show. I'd be getting up at 5 in the morning and going right to work on Knowledge stuff, but that is not the case. Target of received emails remains empty. Let's take a look at that. That has to do with, I suspect, inbound email action. Service catalog categories as card tile view on portal page. We need a service portal forum on this. It seems to be unanimous. I'm just waiting for the word when the community team drops the bomb and says, we have a service portal area. That's going to make it easier for people to find and subscribe and all that good stuff. Hide add me button on list type of field. Let's find out about that. Algorithms names used one-way or two-way encryption password. Algorithm names used for one-way and two-way encryption password. All right. How to prevent approvals from automatically getting deleted. Ooh, how are they getting automatically deleted? Set redirect URL not working for single score report. Let's take a look at this one first. Since we upgraded Jakarta, we are facing a strange issue with approval. When change request is rolled back from requested stage to not requested, i.e. pending approval, using a rollback activity, some user approvals are automatically getting deleted by system. Has anyone encountered this before? If I remember right, that has to do with how your rollback is configured, but I don't remember where that's configured. I know you can do that in script. If you do a restart of the workflow, you can tell it, do you want to preserve the approvals and tasks? Do you want to reset the approvals and tasks? But I didn't know that was the case with rollbacks and user approval deleted since it no longer matches approval rule add primary implementation. I'm just reading the system messages in here. I haven't seen that. That is an interesting question. I don't have any input to add to that, but it's very interesting. Sounds more like you want to reach out to support, see if anything changed in the functionality for that one. Algorithm names used for, just for security concerns, I wanted to know which mechanism or algorithm names are used for password, one-way encryption, and two-way encrypted. Could anyone please tell me the algorithm names used for password, one-way, and two-way encrypted? Let's go to the docs page because I believe it is listed there. docs.servicenow.com is where our product documentation lives, and password encryption. Not edge encryption. Encrypt a password in system properties. Use a type password 1 or password 2. Let's see what that brings up. So password 1 means it's one way. Password 2 means it's two way. Password 1. All right. Searching for the word password comes up 13 times. Somewhere in here it's got to be described. No. Okay. So use password. It said it in the description. There we go. The encrypted system property password. What does it say if you just look for password 2? Let me get rid of that search. Password 2. Data encryption for activity variables. Encrypt a password in system properties. We just looked at that one. Configure Google action input and data types. Reset links, field types. The length of password 2 values is must be at least 255. OAuth 2. Using credentials with your instance. Be nice if there was a link to that somewhere. Find password 2. Encryption and decryption. Credentials are decrypted on the instance with the password to fixed key. But it doesn't say... doesn't say how it's encrypted. I thought it was AES, but that doesn't seem right because it's not long enough. Oops, that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for field types. Okay, password one way. Text field that stores passwords in two-way encryption. The two-way encryption stores the password as a secure encrypted value that can be decrypted programmatically within the instance. You can use password 2 encryption from form variables. The encrypted text fields on forms use encryption contexts. The length of the password 2 field values must be at least 255 characters. Nope, doesn't say. I don't see it documented anywhere. Where is it? I'm going to recommend they reach out to support. Support may have an answer on that. I don't see it in the product documentation, docs.servicenow.com, nor in any of my notes. It predates my days at ServiceNow, which is a while. I recommend reaching out to support and let us know what they have to say. Oop, it won't be a PRB number. Let's see. Please be sure to report back here with your findings. Unless one of the product managers jumps in, but they're not likely to do that right now because they are heads down on London stuff right now. And if they're not heads down on London things, they need to be focusing on knowledge because a lot of the product managers will be there. Hey, Nathan, how's it going? Any inputs on this thread? Let me see if oh, it's running on a different computer. I can't copy and paste that sysid. Darn it. How are we going to do this now? I offloaded some of the work on the machine that's running the community browser so that it would be a little more responsive and we don't run into that issue we had earlier this week. Let me... Nathan, what is your login name? If I were to search for that content, for example. Oops, I put an extra G on there. Sorry. Try that again. Darn motor skills. So if I try finding people, would I find you? One of these two is you. You tell me whether it's the first one or the second one while I look at one of these other threads that I pulled up. One has an icon, one doesn't. Hello, experts need suggestion. Requirement, I need to hide the add me button on the glide list type field. Search through the docs for any attributes, but no luck, didn't find it handy. Tried the onload script and DOM manipulation. Shame, shame, shame. Someone please suggest a workaround without using DOM. One reply. Brad Tilton, 5 minutes ago. Brad is up and early at it. Unfortunately, DOM manipulation is the only way I can think to do this. There are also some attributes available, and I feel like hiding the email field, disabling multiple ads, but removing the email icon isn't one of them. What is the overall requirement driving the need? That was my question as well. If you need to keep the logged in user from selecting themselves, you could run an onChange client script in the field that displays an error message and removes the value and selects it themselves. Yes, that's what I would say. Brad is a very smart person. Thread notification email not triggered. So let's see. First one, huh? We'll see what we get. Let's see. Activity. Oh, I think it was under content. Event process, but email won't trigger. I'm going to take it. That's that one. I configured a notification to be generated when age is greater than 5 seconds in Send when event is fired. Event name is vtransaction.longrun. Advanced condition is true. Scheduled script. This is your schedule, your job. In the log file, I can see entry for notification. Notification long transaction. Email is disabled in the instance. However, I do not see the email record. System logs emails. What I would do is go up here to preview notification, check the preview notification, and see if you can see a sample of that. That's what that's for, is it will bring up a sample and say, oh, you want to pretend the event was triggered? Great, let's do that. Where is it going to go? Who's it going to receive it? Will it actually go? And if it doesn't work, you'll see the recipient's name with a line through it. If you hover over that, it'll tell you why it won't send that message. Need to enable notifications to make sure you have the global application scope. That was 3 days ago. 3 days ago, check the notifications. Lots of replies. All right. So that's my thought is preview is good. Okay. And I see the notification system log. Users field, Chuck Finley. Where are you looking for the email? However, I don't see the email record system log. This one's system log all, and this one's system log email. No, yeah, if email is disabled, that's a good question. Does it go in the outbox or not? Let's find out. Let's take mine. Email properties. And I think mine is turned on at the moment. Nope, mine is turned off. And I am going to go to, let's just do something simple. The dawn chorus of garbage trucks. It's Friday. Loud enough to trip the gate on the mixer. Going to open up one of these and let's see. Let's do assignment group, service desk. There we go. I think Beth is on that group. And if I remember right, Beth has notifications turned on. So let's check real quick. Notification disabled. Well, we don't need that. That would definitely stop it. So let's make sure her notifications are enabled, which I don't see in this view. Let's go back to the sysuser list and get somebody who has notifications turned on. I hate it when it does that. I click up here in the filter finder and it goes to the first field in the form every time. Does that a lot to me. The focus magically changes at the last second. So Beth Anglin. Let's configure, personalize the list columns. Put notifications in there so we can enable her notifications. Ding, ding. Turn on the notifications. I'm just doing research stuff here. Seeing what I can see. I want to verify a theory. Theory is, where do notifications go if your system properties have email turned off? Can I ask why the system property has email disabled? It works on your personal instance, has problems with the company instance. That one, you know, if I'm able to reproduce it on my personal instance, I don't know what that's going to resolve. Check for differences in the properties. Check for differences in the data. Does the user have their email turned on or off? I think I'm going to have to stop here because I'm not going to get any further with this experiment as to what's happening If it's working on one and not the other, that means there's a data difference somewhere. Properties, user data. If you need to go deeper, reach out to support. If it's not working, they have access to your dev and prod instances, or dev and test instances. So that's where I'm going to steer you on that one. I apologize that we're not going to get a deep answer, because I don't know if I'll be able to reproduce it here. All right, getting information here. Thank you for the information. Good question. What's the best practice around cloning and SOAP REST message records? I've never seen those two mentioned together in the same sentence. When creating an integration, you often have at least two environments on both sides. You have a test environment and a production environment on both sides. In this case, you would like to have your test environment linked to the test environment and your production environment to the production environment. Yes, that makes sense. So far, so good. But you have to make sure that even after a clone, your test environment is still linked to the test environment. Therefore, what would be the best practice for setting your SOAP or REST message? What about authentication records? Is there a difference between setting SOAP versus REST when it comes to cloning in multiple environments? I remember right, there's an exclude table, and you can tell it to exclude the credentials. Cloning. System clone, request a clone, create a clone target. Let's do system clone, because I think that's the top level page that has some subtopics under here. Post clone cleanup scripts. That's a fun thing to say. Request a clone. Exclude table from cloning. And say, make sure that your authentication, your authentic, I would say, make sure your authentication tables are in the exclude list. That's my first suggestion. Click that, click that. I think that's is that the first reply I've made? It's going to be a long day. All right, there we go. Every time I've cloned, we have a post-clone script to disable web service accounts so they would not fire in subprods. Good idea. Yeah, that's part of the, remember, right? That is part of the post-clone cleanup scripts that you can do. So system definition, clone definition, cleanup scripts, you can put these on and they will run. So if you want things disabled or enabled in one environment over the other, definitely a way to go. I would have thought there was some way to go down to the property level and say, don't screw with this property. You know, exclude this from being copied over. Because you may have things stored in properties. If I'm going to write a REST API, for example, an outbound REST message, I'm going to get something from a property if it's been scripted. That might be one way to do it as well. What's the endpoint? What's the method? What's the environment? That I like to store things in properties, but if your properties get all duplicated over, I don't know. I don't do clones all that often. So I offer that one as information only. Handling asset management responsibilities. And the open-ended questions like this, what's everybody's opinion on this? Has anybody had experience? What are the best practices? Those often have a tough time getting an answer. You will rarely find those as it's like, okay, that's the answer I was looking for. Unless, of course, somebody sits down and does a big, long essay. They happen to be a subject matter expert on it. I've done that from time to time. Say, okay, here's the 5 things you really need to know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But they tend to go on. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what the community is for, in a sense, is to let's have these discussions. Let's share some thoughts. Steve, missed the REST API yesterday. When will it be on YouTube? As soon as I get it, they told me they would be able to get that to me in a day or two. So look for that early to mid next week. I'll get that on YouTube. Posting it to the developer, this guy, posting that to the developer program, ServiceNow developer program YouTube channel, but it will be available in the community as well. If you know where the Tech Now episode list is, and you can find that on the community by searching for Tech Now episode list, not too tough to figure out. That is the master index of all of the 49 or so episodes right there at the top of the search results. It's a blog content. You could also bookmark it for easy reference. And I have it in there. I should probably change that right now. Well, not right now, but change it so it doesn't say register anymore. But we will put this as the link, like the other ones were, to the article that has the embedded information in it. We also got a lot, and I mean, seriously, mean a lot of questions. Great interactions yesterday. It'll probably take me another day just to answer all the questions we didn't get to answer. There was a backlog of them in the queue. And I want to post the questions and answers in the community as well. So I want to include that as the transcript, as comments in there to say, okay, here's the content we covered, and here's the questions that were answered. Some of them were very good questions, and we answered many of them on the air, but we still had a lot more that were hiding in the background. Which delivery is better, YouTube or that other one? There's advantages and disadvantages to both. I haven't talked to the team yet about which works better. I can tell you we got a lot larger audience off of what it's called On24 that did this webinar. It offers some advantages, but there were some sacrifices we had to make as well. You obviously noticed we didn't have our smiling faces at the beginning and the end of the show, but I'm told, and I noted that they do have camera support. We just need to figure out how we're going to blend that in. So we're working with a third party to get these scheduled, and they handle many other webinars as well. So in terms of gathering audience, it was a huge success. In terms of audio quality, it was not as good because I couldn't sit here with my $300 microphone and my $7,000 mixer and run the audio that way. It was done through a headset on a mobile phone, which I haven't seen the end result yet, but I know what those sound like. The content was better. There was a slight difference in the chemistry that Dave and Craig and I had, largely because Craig and I were behind the scenes answering as many questions as we could while Dave was talking about the content and going through his demo. So it was different. It was different, and we'll see what the result is. I don't know what the future holds yet. The forecast is to keep going this way. I think there's some definite advantages, but again, we'll consult as a team. Thank you. Had major sound issues yesterday at the rest. You didn't like the format. It did offer things like the resource, I forgot what they call it, resource widget, the resource pool, where you could have links. We could give you PDFs or white papers or even update sets if you wanted to grab those. We hadn't thought about that ahead of time. Seem more controlled or maybe even more polished. Oh, trust me, that was not polished. We practiced once to make sure we didn't have any technical issues, and you saw Dave did have an error when he went into the REST API Explorer, but it was about as practiced as all the other ones. That's all I can say. We create our content, we run through it as a team to say, what are you saying, what am I saying, what do you think, and move this slide over here. We do a little bit of review before that. There's more forethought into the topics. A year ago, I would not have had content laid out 4 or 5 months in advance. And when I say content, all I mean is we have a title, we're working on a date, and maybe an abstract. That's about as much planning as I have for August and September right now, and hope that shipping dates on certain releases don't move around. Anyway, I want to get back to the community, but I appreciate the feedback on that. That's a good discussion. I'm glad you're interested, and I appreciate it. I had heard some people had audio issues, but the vast majority of them seem to be working quite well. I don't know what the audio issues could have been due to, but I will definitely keep that in mind. And if it shows up on the the YouTube, then we have something serious to talk about, because I can't publish something that's full of false audio or video or otherwise. Okay. Where were we? We were on the community. You know, it's the bottom of the hour, so let's do a quick, while I'm taking a break, let's go to knowledge. It's coming up. It's about 9 days away. It's not too late to sign up. If you have signed up, go build your agenda. There is lots and lots of content. Don't forget to check the checkbox that says CreatorCon. So much to do, so much to learn. We had somebody at the Phoenix Developer Meetup saying, this is my first knowledge. What should I know? Plan. Just whatever your role is, find out what your interest is. Understand, am I going to learn more about ITOM? Am I going to learn about how to implement a CMDB? Am I going to learn about discovery? Or what is your primary objective? And then build your agenda around that. If you've got multiple people from your organization, they may be in different roles. They may be in the same role. You may have all your admins going together. So find out what you want to cover and then maximize your footprint by going to as many sessions as you can and then aggregate your knowledge later. I don't recommend all going to the same discovery workshop and getting that knowledge. Sure, you'll have lots of information, you'll have lots of backup content, but you'll be missing all that other content. So if you're in a group, spread out. If you're going solo, plan it out. Make sure you're maximizing your effectiveness by looking at the content catalog. You can even check and say, I am an architect. What's here for architects? And it will filter that list down and take out things that don't pertain to you. If you are an admin, developer, or architect, please check the checkbox that says, I want CreatorCon content as well. A lot of fun stuff there. Looking forward to seeing everybody. I will be in the Developer Theater Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 12:30 to 1:30 doing Tech Now Live, where we will be building an application in front of your very eyes. Okay, let's get back to, if anybody's got questions about that. Knowledge is a wonderful time. Not too late to sign up, not too late to go. Let's see what else we have in the community. Loading, 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 loading. Should have a song. How can I change the default value of the go to drop down on a related list? If I remember right, that defaults to the first column. Take a look. That was a question I had. I think I had that very same question, 2008, 2009. It sounds really, really familiar. So if I go to incident open, and remember yesterday, if you were watching, I put several related lists on the bottom of my incident form. Task SLA starts with SLA definition. Approvers starts with, oh, interesting. It's whatever it's sorted by. That's right. It's whatever it's sorted by. Can you change the default? I don't know. This one's not. So it looks like it's the first column unless you set the sort. That's what it was. I knew there was an algorithm in here. Where's the question? Let's bring that up. It defaults to the first column unless somebody has done a sort, then it defaults to that. Seeing in their picture, oh, that one's not sorted by name. Okay, so my theory is incorrect. Because if it was sorted, oh, I'm looking at list V3 though, that might be a difference. No, that's list V2. Interesting. Let's go to configure list control, just to make sure. Disable list V3. Come on, hit it. Update. And I want to make sure, because if it was sorted, theirs was by name. This was by number. That's by caller. And I know those are stored in user preferences. I thought it was by the first column unless someone sorts on one of the other columns. E.g. approver. Then it defaults to the sorted column. Your image would suggest otherwise. As name would be blue with an arrow up, down if it was sorted. Must look into that. Due date not getting update from SLA date in incident form in scope application. Want to display due date. We're going to need a little more information on that. A little more information / context on what you are trying to do, how you are doing it, and the expected outcome. Details are appreciated. Screenshots win awards. Okay, I'm just joking. They're very helpful. Are there any business rules involved? By default, the related list of SLAs, these were SLAs, right? Yeah. Don't modify the parent record. So if you want something done, you're going to have to do it yourself. I've not been ringing the bell today. Let's do that. Moving right along. Which brings to mind that song from the Muppet movie. Event management receiving syslog for events. I'm not big on event management. Not going to have anything to add to that. Work notes and comments are not displaying on activity. That is a very common question. Have you searched the community? Let's take a look. What can it hurt? Work notes. Oh, I did have a couple open tabs in here. Hello, everyone. When I enter work notes or additional comments, it is not showing in the activity. What might be the issue? Check the filter on the right. Make sure that they're turned on. Check that little funnel icon on the right. Make sure they are available and checked, turned on. That's step one. Someone beat me to it. That was an easy one, wasn't it? Just now. They even give a screenshot. That happens. I type, you type, we all type, and I'm talking, so my typing goes slower. Handling asset management responsibilities. What is not installed when you select the checkbox to remove demo data for an instance upon provisioning? What is not installed? The demo data? Is that a trick question? We ran into an issue when attempting to set up an instance. Which one was provisioned on Jakarta patch 6 and another on Kingston? The issue we have run into is when selecting, oh, this is from Kevin. Kevin is very active on the Slack channel. Is when selecting service catalogs, it goes into a page that has 2 entries related to CMDB. If you click Add Content checkbox, in the upper right corner of that screen, there is no set of Add Here boxes at the bottom of the section modal window that appears. Okay, that's bizarre. There seems to be an issue with the removal of demo data, and the removal of demo data breaks functionality inside ServiceNow. Has anyone else run into this issue? I contacted Hi for assistance and saw over 16,000 records in the system definition deleted records, which were created by the guest account and not the system account. Shouldn't break functionality unless that functionality is related, is assuming the demo data will be there. That's the interesting part. You know what? I'm going to follow that one. Subscribe to it. See what happens. We already talked about how do I change the default. That's not my inbox. I think I replied to this one. What's the best practice for SOAP cloning? Target of received emails remains empty. I didn't take a look at this one yet. That's a couple of replies. One from Brad. The target of HR task remains empty when an email is received, so it is not updating the HR task. Does the task exist? Could you post the inbound action you're using to the email task? You may have an error in your script. Please share it. Details, context. Okay. We already answered that one, and we are back to the inbox. So let's see what's new here. Unreplied, thank you for joining me. Good to see everybody. And I hope to see you in person at Knowledge in just a few short days. I will not be doing a community live stream from Knowledge. I'm not hauling the light gear and the backdrop with me. Sorry, we're going to have a week off. Plus, that would just make for a ridiculously long day. They're going to be long enough. I hope I can find a way to stay awake till the end of the hackathon at midnight on Tuesday, and then yet be a vibrant personality again on Wednesday. Attachment reference field. That's an intriguing prompt. Can't resist that. I've searched the forums and found that others using the script include to achieve what I'm trying to accomplish, which is create a field that references the sysattachment table, but limits attachments attached to that record. If need be, I will use the script include method, but I'm not sure why this problem could be solved simply without creating a new script include. Now, in the above screenshot, when I hard code the sysid condition, I get back the expected results, attachments attached to that particular record. But when I add the following script, I'm not able to return a list of attachments. If you have a moment, would appreciate some insight as to why this method wouldn't work. Because you're not giving a full condition? Yes, table sysid. Not equals equals. No. Close, but not quite. Just equals. Not equals equals. Just one equals. No, is that right? No, the condition. You're building an encoded query, not a JavaScript expression. JavaScript. Oh, but it is JavaScript. Wait. Why does that look goofy? I think that might be right. Now that I look at it, it is JavaScript because it says JavaScript right there. Is there live coding happy hour today? Yes, there is. We will be doing that in about 6 hours. 7 hours. 7 hours from when you're viewing this. It is April 26th. It is 6:45 my time, and we will be doing this at 1:30 my time. So, yes, looking forward to that. I don't know what the topic is today. I suspect we're going to be finishing up the YouTube stuff. I don't know what Dave got done with that. I'm going to let this one go. It has already been answered. Thank you, Mike. That is exactly what I was going to say, but I would have missed something. Yeah, I don't know if I particularly care for that reference field assist attachment idea, but I got to think about that one. It's creative. It's creative. Let's look again. People are typing faster than I can, but at least we get to review other people's answers. That's easier. Easier for me. How to convert data in tabular format coming from inbound email. Legendary question. What do you want to do with it? You are going to have to do a lot of parsing. Wow, look at this one. 176 views about an hour ago, and no answer, not even a response yet. You know what I'm going to say? You're going to have to write your own widget. When we click on, order something, we get a list of categories and items. Here, categories are shown as a list view, whereas items are shown in the card tile view. Yes. Question 1. Display categories in card tile view, same as items, and all items in a list view widget right side. They want to reverse them. When the user clicks a specific category, we should get a corresponding item tile view. Okay. I would think it'd be handier to have logos and icons. Categories aren't really, well, okay. Do what you want to do. Question 1. Display categories, same as items. When user clicks category, we should get the corresponding items. A widget shows all the items. Those aren't really questions. Okay. Please let me know how I can achieve this. The answer is you're going to need to write your own widgets. The short answer is you need to write your own widgets to do this. You can use the existing ones as examples. This requires knowledge of service portal widgets, including server-side code, side JavaScript, AngularJS, and HTML. And CSS if you want to make it pretty. I leave that for somebody else. I spend 80% of my time doing the CSS. You need to determine what beer I will be having. Oh, you need to determine what beer you'll be having tonight. I have a pretty decent selection, but it's all sort of two regions of the globe. And I'm not sure which region I prefer at this point. I have Asian beers and I have Mexican beers right now. So it's which Asian beer or which Mexican beer. I will go for a dry cider, preferably Strongbow or Old English. Let's see, 10 more minutes left. Let's see what's in the email box, the inbox. 5 things, crazy. Okay, replies to replies. We'll take it from the top and see how far we can get in the next 10 minutes. So, regarding work notes and comments not displaying, we got a response when I said, hey, check that little funnel icon. Everybody else said that. All the fields are available and checked. Okay. When did this start happening? Does it happen to everyone? Does it only happen on the incident table? Very good questions. Very, very good questions. Great questions. This can help you determine if it is related to access control lists, aka security, or something else. Put in a couple of links there just for help. Next. Here comes the rest of the waste management crew. I like just watching the meters on the mixer. I know you can hear that. Live streaming, you gotta love it. It's almost as much fun as podcasting. Oh, where are we? Kevin Eldridge's that I subscribe to about his deleted records on the demo data. Try going to homepage admin pages and then search for catalogs, not catalog, and select the one that says view catalogs _ default. Click and edit and click the add content button there. Any change? Good question. What's the best practice around cloning and preserving our integration so that dev points to dev and prod points to prod? I needed to do this with a remote system that had only one environment. So where I have dev, test, and prod, they had only prod. What I ended up doing was creating multiple transaction contexts from the transaction and destination side, and then change the context of my transaction on the ServiceNow side by using the instance name property. Just another approach in case you don't have machine environments on the other side. Kind of odd that there would only be a prod on the other side. That almost sounds like an express situation. Algorithm names used for one-way and two-way. Thanks, Chuck. I already have raised a high ticket and I'll post back once I reply. Okay, so they were asking what are the algorithms used. I don't know if it's DES or AES or triple DES or what it is. So I'm curious to know as well. One of those things you can learn from the community. Have you learned anything yet today? I'm not sure I have. What is a recommended method in Jelly to handle including data from two separate glide records? This is a rather old thread, but has been commented on. This is an old post, but if you still have the code, can you pass on the post? I'm trying to do something similar. Good to note. Good to note. Let's go back to my favorite unreplied. We'll see what's new. Where can we help? Scripting prior archiving. We'll take a look. Hello, experts. Please guide and help on regarding the approach. I want to archive certain data for that. Yes, there are archive rules in ServiceNow, but I have to modify the data and anonymize prior to that archive. But there is no script available in the archive rules form. How should it be achieved then? Okay. You're going to run an archiving rule. I don't know a whole lot about archiving. How do you identify which ones to be archived is based either on age or you'd almost have to build your own archiving. I'm not sure what the rationale is. I'm curious, so I'm going to stay subscribed to that one. It's an intriguing question. There seem to be more questions than answers today. I'm not doing a wonderful job at answering anything. And when I do, someone has already answered it. It must be Friday. Maybe we'll have better luck on Live Coding Happy Hour or my pet project over there on the IoT workbench. Duplicate entry in history line. Table for field state and incident state against the incident records only in prod instance? I'm gonna find something that's in the developer community. Kind of gotta go in my comfort zone for a minute. Handling asset management responsibilities within an organization. Probably doesn't belong in the developer community. How to convert data in tabular form, we already looked at that. How to prevent user approvals from automatically getting deleted, we looked at that. More questions. SSH authentication on connection failure, ITOM. Set redirect URL is not working in a single score report. That should go in reporting and performance analytics. Make sure that when you're posting these, they get into the right area. There are a couple that seem to be misplaced today so that you can get the maximum eyeballs from the subject matter experts on those. Want to make sure you get your questions answered effectively. I've created a CI relationship using script with scheduled job and script include relationships are visible in CMDB-rel CI table, but the relationships are not reflected in dependency map for CI. I kind of want to take a look at that just from an education standpoint. Please suggest me an option through which I can automatically... Relationships on CMDB, there is a table called CMDB_rel_CI. It is your relationship map that says this app server is talking to this database server, and it's connected via, depends on or runs on or uses you. These relationships need to be registered though, and there are upstream and downstream, because the relationship from A to B may not necessarily be the same as from B to A. This is how the whole CMDB map gets drawn, and it is all based on this table. So if the entries are in here, you have to pay attention to which is the parent and which is the child, and that will tell you where in the map it goes. So I would recommend to them, I don't have a solution, but I have more questions than anything. Can you include a sample of the code and the results? I've done a little bit of this in the past. I don't know if I was doing it manually through script. Ensure you are using, it was CMDB rel. These are defined. See, these are reference fields. Depends used by goes to CMDB rel type. I was just looking at the URL on the bottom. I didn't make that up. Relationship entries from CMDB rel type when you create the relationships. Make that a note. Note, hint, tip, whatever it was. It's a reference field. If it wasn't working, they wouldn't have got very far. Well, apparently they didn't get very far. Source Sans Pro font scaling problems on IE11. Is that a ServiceNow issue? OS, Windows 7, browser, IE11, setting font used in forms and lists to Source Sans Pro, Helvetica New Arial, font point size. On the ticket detailed, scale defined, fine, 12 point. Any ideas how to fix this? Well, that's kind of crazy. How and why did you change? See how the INC is bigger than the numbers? Numbers are smaller, letters are bigger. I don't think changing fonts is supported. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, what is the reason? Is there a business requirement for changing this? What is the business requirement for changing the font? Or were you just experimenting? Just curious. Just curious. We have come up to the top of the hour already. Wow, that last 10 minutes just flew by. It's always fun, as it is, and I will sign off. Hopefully you'll be able to watch Live Coding Happy Hour in a few hours. Look forward to seeing you there. Thank you again if you joined us yesterday on the REST API webinar. And we will be doing, again, live Tech Now at CreatorCon. We are looking to record those, so I'll have those uploaded as well. We'll put those on the YouTube channel. And then June is scheduled for Guided Tour Designer. July is the Script Debugger. August, fingers crossed, we'll be talking about London platform features. So that is our lineup for Tech Now going forward. I can't remember September. I know I have something written down there, and I'm working on the Q4 ideas as we speak. So Lots of stuff coming up in tech now. Lots of stuff coming up here. Again, it's always unpredictable and it's always enjoyable. Some days we answer more questions and some days we have more questions than answers. But it's always fun and I've learned something today. If you've learned something, please go out and share it and you will be helpful to others. And that's all I ask. That's how things get done. That's how you grow. That's how others grow. And the world is a better place. So go out and make it so. Until then, if I don't talk to you till Monday or I don't talk to you till knowledge, have a great weekend and a great week. Take care. Bye.